Okay, so we are live. We are back again with another podcast. Today's topic is going to be our brothers, brotherhood, and lifting up our brothers, putting our brothers out in front. And so you know that our brothers, they are the key. Lifting up our brothers and putting our brothers out in the forefront is key to building a nation. Okay, so taking back where we should be, taking back our position, um, will include our brothers being out in the forefront. Okay, they were systematically torn down. And so now we have to, work at bringing us, lifting one another up. This is what we will talk about today. I'm going to start it off with the scripture, Romans 12 and 10. Be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love and honor, and preferring one another. That is the KJV. In the NIV, it says, "Be devoted one to another and honor, um, love and honor one another above yourselves." And then the next scripture is same Romans chapter 12, verse 2 is, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." This is what it's going to take, a renewing of our mind, changing the way we see and think uh, about one another. And so, with that, we are going to go ahead. Let's see. We are going to go ahead and start um, with our panel. Let's share your thoughts. I want to start with Sister Shonda. Would you like to share your thoughts on that?
Sure. Shalom, everyone, and welcome. Um, the fact that our brothers have been systematically torn down for so long, it's like you keep doing the same thing over and over, you get used to it. It just becomes a part of you. And when you try to change that or go against that, you feel a certain kind of way. You don't want to do it. It feels uncomfortable to you because change is uncomfortable. So I just noticed that in this community, but in this awakening, how the Most High is gathering his brother, the brothers and the sisters, but mainly the brothers, to go back to what our forefathers were, to be strong men and to unify and be unified in with one in the Most High's will. I think systematically we've been divided and conquered in that manner, and it's going to take the men to make up in their minds that that's what's happened. And now that I know that that's what's happened, how am I going to change it within myself? And then after that, how am I going to continue to lift my brother up, who I know is going through the same thing? It might be in a different way, but he's still going through the same thing because he's part of the same system that kept tearing us down and oppressing us and suppressing us. So I have my husband here to weigh in on how he thinks the battle is, outside of the home and taking care of the family, and if there's unity here or not unity here amongst the brothers. He has a few and far between amount of people that he is close with and will call his genuine brother. He's very selective of who who he puts in his circle. He's very selective because he says what he brings home is his responsibility. And if he brings something home that should not be home, then that's on him, and it would be his fault. So he's very, very careful, and I praise the Most High for him. So, babe, you want to say something?
Shalom, everybody. How everybody do today? So I hope everybody blessed. So the Most High bless us with another, another day to see, another better life. So we're thankful. We're thankful, and we give our praises to His name. And how I look at it is that if everybody fall back into the creation role, because if you fall into your creation role, you're going to do what you're supposed to do. Because if you dig and find out what your creation role is, then you shall perform your role the correct way. That, so you don't have to worry about them things there when you know your creation role. So that's how I feel about the situation right
now. Okay. You're on mute, sister. Does anybody else have any weigh-ins on that or want to
Yeah,
express their opinion?
I'm
Oh,
I'm just
here's
gonna
Sister
have my
Trey. I'm
husband
sorry.
come in and weigh in on that as well. So he's a little camera shy. I'm gonna pass off my headset to him so he can go right ahead and speak.
Yeah, hear out, man. No, I hear what I say, right? But check this out. There is no way, no farm, black people or any people can unite to farm one living or in a sense, let me just put it like this. From the day of creation, everything separated. From the man take the ribs and give it to a woman, that's a separation, right? So right? From the woman eat the forbidden fruit and we start getting knowledge, that's a separation from on the most almighty. And then fast forward in where the place name Iraq where Babylon did build and when I try build the tower. Remember who know black people are the whole human race where them call it long so they try build a tower. And separate we conquer the whole land. No. When we separate and say anytime we come back together, we go farm one. But that will never happen in a full lifetime until everybody start treat each other as one. Sometimes Bob Marley sing a song, and sing this one song, say, until the philosophy of this whole race which come together as one. And people take them song there for granted. Nowadays, if you bring a young man, a black man especially, that's what I talk about, and the next black man together is very hard because what I teach or what people are teach as a elder black is the wrong thing when I teach the youth. 90% of the elder black them, the pastor and all them people there, I teach youth them hatred. And them say how good them are do. And them I teach you them for follow them and them say how good them are do. But them not teach you them for stand on them own so the youth them will never follow them. Because everybody want to be better than the other one. And once you try to be better than the other one, that's jealousy has spread. And once a person have jealousy, you will never have love. So we will never come together. So if we not go talk about a topic, right? I want to talk about black people to come together as one. I want to talk about the youths of tomorrow, our future youths. Black, white, Chinese, everybody to come together as one so we can tear down Babylon. But you can't bring black people alone. Black people alone can't do it. You need everybody because there is one. One person, Adam. One person, Adam. We might be spread between blood, colors, and all them things there. So you can't make colors or nationality be a barrier. Because if you cut everybody in this world, we all bleed the same blood. So we all have the one blood. So you have to bring everybody. Hey, tell us something, right? And I tell her this morning about this thing in the ghetto. Say If you're looking at the ghetto through the cracks, there is always a dandelion. How comes a dandelion can go in the cracks and no other flowers can go in the cracks? Explain that to me. I'm gonna tell her about my country too and say, looking at the whole world, look on it as life. Looking at the whole world, if you talk about nation, there's only one country, a highland in this whole nation. Fly a flag, we don't have white and blue. And there's only one country we have a motto said, out of many, we are one. And there's only one country is setting the example that recognizes our through the whole world. Any corner you go in the world, you could have go Russia, China, or anywhere. Any corner you go, Jamaica. Because I say, out of many, we are one. It's just the smallest little things you gotta teach a youth. Say, if a Jamaican country can say, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Indian, the white man, the black man, all of them say them come from Jamaica, and then teach all of them, and all of them treat each other good. Look, man, the Jamaicans stick together no matter what. And if one country can set an example like that, how comes the rest of we can follow and say, it's not only the black people, it's not only the Chinese people, If a Chinaman say hi to me, smile back with him, because tomorrow might save my life. You understand me I say? If a Indian man smile with me, smile back with him. If a white man smile with me, smile back with him. Because I love your spread him and say, I have a good man in this honey. This black lady smile with me, I may never expect that. You spread love through your heart, not through your mouth. When you walk down the street as a black woman or an individual, you can know who is coming at you with love and who is coming at you with hatred. So it's not just for the youth or the black man them. The black man them, like when I say, you have to talk to them like how you talk to your own kids them. I'm not saying they are illiterate, I'm not saying they are small, but the things where them other people preaching to them and you get the opportunity as a one-on-one to talk to them, like on a local program I saw. Teach them how to cook, teach them how to clean, teach them how to take care of themselves. Teach them the basic thing from life coming up. Don't teach them hatred of grown and hate other people because them of different color and different race and different creeds are them things there. Can you never know why they might learn from them. You understand? The more you mix, the more you learn. I come from a farming community and I grew up in a place named Marlborough. Not one black people, everybody was white. And then treat me and my family good. And the amount of things I learn in that little town and I take it back, girl, I can tell you some stories about my life coming up as a man from Jamaica through this country and what I see and what I learn and what I teach to my kids them. And I continue to teach them because tell her if you're a black man or a young youth, anybody, woman, creed, when them say knowledge is power, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. It's real power. The more you know, the more you learn and all them stuff there. If you're a man from my country, I come up and know I become one of the best mathematicians in my company. If you're a black man, hey, I learn so many things and I teach it. This is how it go. My kids them have them friends and them friends come around me. And instead of me teach them hatred and teach them how to beat system and all them things there, I teach them how to straighten out them credit, get them life so them can buy a house. And all them buy a house. And then come back to me and say, you see this man here? This is the best man in my life. This man turned my life around. I could be out on the street selling things them I used to sell, but I ain't doing that no more. I'm not believing at Christmas. That's my Christmas gift. to turn another person's life around. Not one, not two, but a lot. And when you do that, he spread the wealth. So he do good and he teach you one them following him. It's all about teaching truths and rights. Anyway, thank you all very much. I'm gonna go back to swift for my house, the room them now. So God bless sisters and everybody, and God bless to everybody out there in the media land and all them stuff
Thank
Bless you, Brother Bobby.
you. All praises to the Most High. All
Oh,
right.
praise.
Um.
Can I
So
add to that?
yes, absolutely.
Shalom, shalom, family. It was so much truth in both statements there. That's something because during fellowship yesterday, we actually discussed that in a scope, in a sense. And what I share with the brothers, my brothers that I congregate with, the power that the Most High have put on our brothers is that authoritative, spirit, to where a Israelite brother walk in the room, he's gonna own it. He doesn't have to say anything, but something about the spirit that the Most High have put on our Israelite brothers is one that is powerful, and it is time for our Israelite brothers to get back to their rightful position. It starts with the brothers and it ends with the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
As my sister there said, it's a systematic problem. Okay, and we could dig a little deeper in that. For me, is I think of the withered lynch, the dysfunctional and functional. That stems all the way back from just ripping and tearing our brothers down to think, as again, if you take a man's identity, a man has nothing. That's the first part.
Mm-hmm.
But I truly believe that the Most High is shifting just the earth in its whole scope. But Most High is placing wisdom, obedience, sacrifice, leadership, truth in our brothers, so that the ones he have selected. Now that's key. I said the ones he selected.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying he's not gonna select every brother, but if you are walking in the spirit, you will be able to discern the ones that the Most High have handpicked. So I really believe that it's coming about a time to where the brothers are slowly taking their rightful position, and they're unapologetic about doing so. So that's my take on it.
Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. Um, Sister Ravka, brother and sister. Um, y'all would chime in at any time. You're on mute
Oh,
if you're talking.
all praises, all praises. Sorry, we got a little bit going on in the background here. Give me just a moment. Okay, shalom, everybody. Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so um, I have to ask again, what was the initial question that we're answering?
Um, so we were talking about brotherhood, lifting our brothers up, putting our brothers in the forefront, and what can we do to to unite us? Because in building a nation, our brothers are, the uplifting of our brothers, the putting forth of our brothers, putting them out in front, they are key. Our brothers are key. Our brothers were systematically torn down, right? And so when they tore down that power and separated the households, and they had to go through the man first in order to create such powerful separation, because there's a lot of power in our men, and so in order for us to take back our position on this earth, we need to systematically build them right back up again. Take a page out of the colonialism. They worked very hard. They thought out, they made a plan and thought out this whole process. And then they let me open up this room here. Sorry. And then they're, because they were united in what they were doing. Europe, Asia, Africa, China, everywhere. They were unified, and that is how they were able to systematically break us down, and we are divided everywhere where we are. So that is our discussion. We've invited our brothers on, and wives, to put the brothers out there. Let the brothers talk about it. Bring it out. Bring out the truth. What can we do to get our to snatch back what belongs to us?
Okay. So do you want to take it, or you want me to go first, or?
You can go first and I'll follow up.
Okay, I'll praise this. So I think this is like a really intricate topic. I think it's an extremely intricate topic. And I agree with bits and pieces with what everybody was saying, but my strong stance is this. In order for the brothers to be put back out in front, I believe there's, like, the requirements from the Most High haven't changed. They gotta, just like everybody has to, of course, repent, come in a humble, contrite spirit, and then the Most High will put them back in the position that they ought to be in. I believe as women, what we can do is do our best to walk our paths, but I really think this is something the men have to do, because for it, like you said, it started with the head. When they split up the families, and when they did, when colonialism came in like a wrecking ball and wreaked havoc amongst our nation.
Are you done?
I believe they
well, don't drop your drink.
Yeah, when colonialism came in and wreaked havoc, I believe it did a number on the confidence, the self-esteem, the sense of responsibility of our men. And I believe that's something that they have to take with both hands back. And I also honestly believe that as a nation, I can only speak from growing up in the US, in this country, and I can only speak from my perspective. And what I perceive is that, like, us as a nation, Black Americans, we have no issues reaching out and being inclusive or including to lots of other people, to other nationalities. We have no issues with that, none whatsoever. And I think that is it's like one of those gift and curse kind of situations. It's a gift because you don't want to not have hospitality. You don't want to be perceived as just unapproachable by anybody, right? We want to be in the model after forefather Abraham, who was hospitable to whomever it was, be it stranger or whomever it was that came to him way back in the day. That was what he was known for, kind of his hospitality and his love and adoration for the Most High. But also, I think it's the curse, because on that, in that same breath or in that same vein, we'll reach out, we'll be hospitable and include everybody else and everything else that we have going on. But when it comes to how we interact with one another, we're the quickest to stab one another in the jugular.
Mm-hmm.
It's not stab each other in the back. You can survive that, possibly. No, we try to stab each other in the jugular, and we try to take one another out. So I think a part of that, I think that has a lot to do also with the condition of our men. Not saying it's only the men guilty of it, no, because women are, we're some of worst offenders too in that sense. But I think as a community, one thing that we have to do is really lock down how we interact with one another before we try to include anyone else, because there's something, like you said, take a page out of the colonizer's book in some respect, because there's certain principles that they adhere to and it works. There's a certain amount of cohesiveness that they have. Like they all come together when it comes to coming against us. Oh, they come together on that thing. So there's certain principles that they have, being colonizers, being other nationalities, whomever it is, being other cultures. There's certain principles that other cultures adhere to where, no, they're going to be okay. They look out for one another. They're all right. We're literally, as a community, bleeding out our morality. If you bleed out, I don't know if anybody's ever bled a lot, but you only have so many liters of blood in your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our community is literally bleeding out by the leaders. Our morality is bleeding out by the leaders. Our sense of community is bleeding out by the leaders. Like we are literally bleeding out. And we're reaching, like the scripture says, we're reaching out to and asking for help from people who are very satisfied with watching us bleed out. As a matter of fact, they gave us knives to help us stab each other in the neck. So I think before we can try to include anyone else in what we're trying to do, before we can look to someone else to help us build our men up, we have to buckle down. And we have to focus in on self and stop the bleeding, repair our interactions with one another. And someone brought up Willie Lynch. That's exactly, like, I agree with that. We have to repair those interactions from the ageism, or the contention between age, the contention between gender, the contention between light skin, dark skin, all of those isms and schisms. I believe we have to buckle down and get the interactions with self collectively under control before we can even start to reach out. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, the scriptures absolutely address that. When they see us do, and they see the Most High's light within us, we're not going to have to reach out to anybody. They're going to come and find us. Oh, we see that the Most High is with you. You have him. Everybody else's way is, we have inherited lies. This way that we've been growing up in, this is not right. We see y'all have the light of the Most High in you. So we're not going to have to worry about how, anyone else is gonna, we don't have to reach out to anyone else or anything like that. They're gonna see the Most High in us. Once we start doing what we're supposed to do for one another, repairing ourselves, repairing our interactions, I believe they're gonna see that. They already follow us in our wickedness. They already do it. How many nations you see K-pop, Korean pop artists, Korean rap, all of that, different national, they follow us in our stupidity and our ignorance and our wickedness. How much more are they going to follow after once they see, okay, no, these people are doing, they're being just, they're being fair, they're being righteous. Their way is the way of life, because we start following after what the Most High said. How much more so are people going to start to gravitate towards that? We don't have to worry about who's gravitating towards us now. We need to buckle down, get our interactions under control, how we deal with one another. And I believe for the men, like, they literally gotta turn to the Most High and understand what he says about the situation. Because in the same respect, the same story that was in Genesis, is kind of literally repeated constantly, constantly, constantly. So we have to, I think just really delve into the word of the Most High, hear what He says about the matter, obey, repent and obey, and follow what the prescribed steps so that we can dig ourselves out of this mess. It can be done. We have to be willing and obedient. If you be willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. Sorry, that was kind of
Truth.
long, but
Truth. No, that was good. That was good. Anybody want to chime in on that? Welcome, Sister Cece and Brother Willie from um, Peculiar One Radio. Welcome. And what are your thoughts? Share your thoughts.
Well, Sister Corinne, let Brother Mishka go first.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Brother Mish. Yes.
All praises.
And
Well,
I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
oh, no worries. I know
I
the
got
spelling is not
sidetracked over here. I'm sorry about
merciful.
that.
Doesn't make it easy. But
Sorry.
I would say, firstly, recognizing that the reason the nations were used as a belt was because of our disobedience to the Father. So, in order for this to be undone, task one is for us to submit to the Father, search out what it is that He wants from us, and give that unto Him. Um, Becoming selfless. If I become selfless in my walk with the Father, it'll be harder for me to be spiritually sidetracked when the enemy offers me something that is based in selfish desires, if that makes sense. Because to oversimplify, being selfish is what got us in this mess in the first place.
Mm.
So as I become selfless, my opportunities to please the Father open up. Moving forward from being a vessel of dishonor, I have a chance of becoming a vessel of honor. Now, uniting with those of like mind, as we strive to please the Father, the lesser things, so to speak, that aren't spiritual but material things will start to open up for us as well. Whether you are a painter, architect, accountant, you name it, your gift will make room for you. From there, being fitly joined together, we can do greater things. Develop a network, so to speak, to where we have circular economics. Say someone buys a bunch of homes, gets into real estate. Well, if they find somebody in that set apart community that's in finance to help them refinance, that money stays in the community. If they need help maintaining those properties, find someone with a construction company or painters in that set apart community, and that money just keeps flowing around instead of flowing out of the community and people continue to live paycheck to paycheck. But to try and do financial things without taking care of the spiritual things, we're going to stay in the mess that we've been in for so long.
Mm.
And that's what I would say about that.
It starts with that submission unto the Most High.
Mm-hmm. Sister Cece and Brother Willie.
Greetings, everybody. Sorry, I got the time difference always messing me up. But yeah, I've been
No
listening
worries.
and some really good insight. I've been listening for a minute here. Thankful to be a part of the conversation. Um, and I agree with everything that brothers and sisters, everybody's been saying. That we have to have accountability in how we interact, and I think it really does start with us, with the men. Yes, we need our sisters to help us, our wives, but we have to start with our own accountability and realize that we're here. We got in this country and in captivity because of us falling short, and just plain and simple. The men were stepping up. We see it from the beginning. We can go back to Adam, back to Adam. oh now, our men, we have been slacking, and we're slacking now. You know, a lot of us just building up numbers, so to speak, notch on your belt. You know, just destroying our nation more, destroying our nation more, reaping up more fatherless homes, more broken homes. So I just think it all goes back to us, and if we take accountability and to build a brotherhood. You know, something I do when I see a brother, I used to have this kind of cross eye at people. I didn't even say anything, just something that rose up in me. Now when I see a brother, I pray for him. Just a quick prayer. I just say, you know, yeah, I don't know that brother, but I know he needs you. Touch him, and that he knows you today. And I make a purpose every time I see a brother, I say that. It's only a few seconds, but it gets my mind to stop hating my brother without a cause. You know, and I didn't even know where it came from, but I realize now it comes from the curse. You get that trying to rise up in me all the time. And I have to fight that. You know, I don't do action, but it starts with your heart. So I think it all starts with us just realizing that, you know, we are broken. We need to have our brotherhood together. We need to bring our families together and have our respect our wives and take their input. But we need to start trying to get together as brethren and really building that strong relationship to kind of help our nation get to back where we should be at.
Mm-hmm.
All praises to the Most High. I completely agree. My husband said something earlier about it starting with the youth. Starting with the youth, because if you start with teaching our young men and raising them in love and changing their mindset, because they are the future. They are our future of tomorrow. If we can start with them and if we can change their mindset, we would be on our way to, and our brothers, our seasoned brothers as well. We would be well on our way to rebuilding our nation. And Sister Revka, I completely agree with you as well. We have to stop tearing one another down. We have to start with that. We have to start with the Most High said, I am in you. If we can see the Most High, is that how we would treat him? How would we treat the Most High? Right? And so we need to see each other that way. We need to see the Most High in one another, you know? And that's how our brothers, that's how the Maccabees, they were so strong, and all the other ancestors before us who were able to overcome their enemies, even just a small group of them able to overcome their enemies, is because they were able to unite and see the Most High in one another and respect one another and love one another. They were willing to die for one another. They were willing to lay down their life for one another's families as well. So our brothers are strong like that. They have great power, but a lot of us, we just don't know. We just don't know the power that we have. We are trendsetters. If we say, what I mean, we can make up anything. We made up ebonics. We made up words that weren't even in the dictionary. Now we have a whole dictionary of what we said. That's the power that we have. You know, I'm gonna go back to that movie Avatar, the old movie, not the new one, because I didn't see the new one, but that old movie Avatar, where the people, the powers that shouldn't be, saw the value in that land, and they wanted what was under the tree in the Avatar land. They wanted the material that was in that tree, and they were willing to, they wanted them people to, they've been living there all their life in peace and harmony. They wasn't bothering anybody, but what they had, they could feed the whole world with. And so the powers that shouldn't be, that live on the outside, learned about what they had, and they wanted this special material that they have, this special rock or this precious stone, and that stone was under the tree. And that tree, now you know, a big tree like that, it has some really big, deep roots. And in order for, they didn't just cut that tree down, they blew it up so that the roots came up out of the ground. And then everybody started to run. Then the war came, they started to scatter. And there was one man that stood up and went to all the different tribes, because they were all different tribes in Avatar land. They was like, listen, these people are coming in with their weapons. They have all their military weapons, their machine guns and everything, and all they had was bows and arrows and animals. But what they did, knowing that these people were going to come in and destroy their land, they prayed to, and I only serve the Most High, so understand this is just making a point. But they prayed to their God. They believed in their God, and then the people, they came in, they started with their machine guns, they were killing them, and they, the tribal people, the avatars, they were fighting back with their bows and their arrows. And those who had the power in the machinery, were, you could see all the avatars dying left and right, but they still fought together. And there was that one man that went to all the different tribes and said, hey, they're going to come in here and they are going to destroy our land. This tribe, you need to help us. Over here, you need to help us. Over here, you need to help us. Over here. And they was just like, they all went in, and they was in agreement, and from the four corners of their place, from the four winds of Avatar land, they all came together and unite. And when they did that, their their animals, their God had awakened the animals that could not be destroyed. I mean, these animals, they were coming, they were shooting at the animals, and these big animals, just, they could not be destroyed. And even with their huge big machinery, could not take them down. But the only way their God came in to help them is when he saw that they all unite, and they were all on one accord, and they were all fighting and willing to lay down their lives for one another. Then he stepped in. It made me think of Africa, y'all. I was like, this sounds like, this I know this is just a movie, but this is looking kind of familiar. Didn't we were snatched from the shores of Africa, and then they pulled us to pull the roots out, tore the tree up. Everybody went scattered, you know, and then they built up their walls of colonialism. We have the power to tear down the walls, the walls of colonialism, the spiritual walls of separation, the spiritual walls of that veil in between us, you know of, oh, I'm Jamaican, oh, I'm Haitian, oh, I'm African, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and that. No, we are the Most High's children. The people who told us that we were all these things were the very people who systematically divided us, systematically divided us. And so we have to take a page out of their books. Brothers, you can chime in at any time.
Yeah, well, we have to go back, I have to go back to where Brother Bobby said earlier, and it's a serious thing, because if you check what go on, the youth, them don't know if you use them hand. The only thing them know if you use them hand for do is to fetch on a computer. You versus them youth, the youth them not learn trade no more. Say how to hammer a nail. So you don't know if you even try to put a piece of board together to try to make a cover for you and your lady or whatever I go on. See, we have to go back to them days, because that's the days we're going back into. Even though right now we are technology, remember you saying, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be at the end. So we are heading back to the end right now. So From darkness, we have to go back into darkness. So the youth them know if we have to understand that we have to come together and live together and learn to know how to use our hands and how to build things, you know what I'm saying, how to sustain ourselves. Because a self-sustainability we have to go back to. Because the system never always be there for you. The system, when you get caught up in the system, because them control you. A dog thing that. You see, because we have to get away from calling each other dog. Because when you call your brother a dog, see what you do to a dog, you put him on a chain. You put him in the yard and you feed him when you want.
Wow.
All of us, we have to get away from them
Wow.
dog thing. A lion we are dealing with. Lion dead for him pride. You all of us may say. So now we have to get back to the brother, them have to understand, say, we not no dog. You dig? Because brothers are called brothers dog. Everybody are calling each other name. And if we not get back to who we really are and say, hey man, that not my name. You overs, me not name that. If you want to call me lion because me stand firm, me being a go. You overs, that's what we have to deal with. And when we learn to go back to do that, and each one teach one, how to do this, if me know if we do carpentry, me go teach you them how to do carpentry, so the youth them know how to put something together. That's what we have to deal with. Love comes from the heart, but love also comes from teaching each other. That's how we have to deal with. So, brother Bobby, straight up. When you say wash, cook, clean, and iron, man have to know how to do that too. You always, man have to know how to do that too. You dig? That just not for woman alone. You dig? But if we be saying at the early beginning, if everybody go back to them creation role, if we go back for your creation role and understand what your creation role is, you're going to do what you're supposed to do and stay there your line. Because the most I say, it's me, you over, then me say my son, then after my son are you, and then the woman come after you, and then you them. So everything you do dictate what go on with the woman then. You dig me say because if me the leader, and me I run down the hill, and everybody supposed to follow me, who you think I will run? Everybody will run follow me. So as a leader, me have to stand firm as a man. And not every man that put on a pants is a man. So that's what me I say. Get back to your creation role and you'll understand what you're supposed to be. And then if you understand what you're supposed to be, you will do what the Most I say because you're following his rule. Me done day.
Listen. I just what I heard, and I appreciate that because in my first statement, I walk out of this room and I said, "Yo, you hear me? All them man and all them youth nowadays I depend on woman, but true, me never want crush my princess heart. I didn't even go ahead and say them things. But true, you mention it, it a bug me because it's for real. Check this out, right? A woman, I don't know, me say so. The book said that. A woman is from a man rib. A woman is here to please what a man supposed to want them to do. Pretty much anything where they want them to do, if you want to put in a layman's term. So before the woman come here, we da do everything we self unless we da run one but naked, but we have to provide one food. We never have to depend on one for all them stuff there. Nothing. Nothing. But nowadays people, nowadays society and the younger generation, and they all start from the female themselves, cause them want dominate and them want do this and them want contribute and them want do this. And them now make the youth them develop and start do things by them own. You see, it's very fortunate. It bring me back to the subject when I said earlier about the we call the dandelion in the ghetto. Some dandelion just flourish. Fortunately, me and you are one of them. Me and you are one of them. And you have a lot of them out there who know if to take care of themselves, you understand? So the woman in turn around and respect we. And you have a lot of them who try to teach this and them call us all kind of name, but in retrospect, what them not know, so we are live because the reason why I laugh because the woman them nowadays with me and you, then cherish we for everything we can do. and we really can't do nothing because all we have a beat them is common sense. And these youth nowadays can't develop a thing named common sense. You understand? Because each mistake they make early in them life, them continue making it over and over, and them never learn from it. For me, for your father, probably beat way for playing cocoa or dashing wrong until we plan to right. We come up here and we say, dang, that's why I'm not teach we all this time. If me planted a way, it come better. And me say, whoa, me learn something new every day. But with them keep planting it wrong and wrong and say, grandpa idiot, grandpa this. And it's part of life. If you continue to do the wrong thing in life, you will never advance as a young youth. You understand what I say? But if you take the same mistake, we stop you one step and make you make two step backward and look for it, you look for it and realize and you say, listen, me now make the same mistake twice. Instead of go that way there, me will take the longer route. And you take the longer route and you come out prosperous probably about 5 years down the road. But you prosperous and you know make the same mistake and you can teach next one who will come up say, do not make that mistake. You understand me I say? Do not make that mistake because if you make that mistake, that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna tempt them to do it, you know. And you say, boy, everybody learn by their mistake. But if you can stop one youth, just one, that's all it take. And that one is stop another one. So instead of you stop one, you stop two youth, three youth. It's like a train thing, a chain thing. But you know, man, I hungry still. But me just over here on a conversation, I'm want to come in and chime on the thing, you know, because it sound kind of interesting. So anyway, peace out again.
Candy lions can survive just about anywhere.
Yes. But if a dandelion growing on the ghetto and a flowers not grow there, dandelion stronger root.
Mm.
But the one on the top grow and keep faded away, get poisoned by chemicals. But the one with the stronger root always survive. And it start with a family because if your
We are
family
so deep
roots
into trying to hear what brother's saying.
if your family roots not strong, then you're gonna full of chemicals and your flower. This is very deep. And your flower are gonna come out not looking healthy and it not gonna look green like the other man on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna try and pass something your sisters about Avatar the movie, right? And I try to teach her this morning. And I really try to teach her. Cause she wonder sometime oh every day I talk to the plants and I say something to the plants like I'm gonna say, yo, nothing for nothing still, you know. We all come from the same thing, which is the sun, the cosmos. Put it like that in my perspective. And we all connected as one. You might see me out here tweet with the bird, and you might say, that man is cool. But in reality, you don't even know if I understand the bird. I talk to the flowers, and the flowers bloom better. I take my time. The simplest second out of your busy day, if you can take, if you just pick up even a ragweed and look on it, that show you're connecting with life. Because a lot of us nowadays, youths, all everybody, just walk by everything and just take everything for granted. And then say, about 15 years down the road, you say, when my life passed me and gone, me never even learned to do this. Me never even learned to do that. Me not even know to do this. Because you don't take time for yourself. You never take time for yourself. Me as an individual, you can't stop me, man. Me even pick up the little nasty leaf them around the corner and inspect them. Because my life never too busy for observe and enjoy life. That's why probably me I live life so good. I not brag or boast now, me I live life to the full the most. Because me happy, rich or poor. But a lot of people cannot say that. Give or take, you have to be rich to be happy. And the richness and happy way you want is life. Okay, you can get up every day and do something different. Like I come back to the early saying, if you mess up yesterday, you can correct it today as long as you get up. Yeah, yeah, no envy in your heart and get up. If you do this every day, get up and smile every day and say, thank God, looking at the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, thank God. Even if you're in a pain, I can look in the mirror and look at myself and say, thank God. That's one healing spirit for the day, if you believe in a spirit and you feel better. Now, if me or not, I'm more interested, me I'll chime in still, but apart from this, me really gone now.
Yeah, man. All right, brothers. Anyone chime in at any time. Share your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's powerful what the brothers were saying. Definitely have to step up into a leadership role, being led of the Father, and becoming a duplication or a representative of Him in the earth. That's why I started with submission unto Him and becoming selfless, because in my experience, I grew up seeing men that had done well for themselves in life, and it really had no value because of the way they used what they had in possession. Um, Also, realizing that sometimes the mistakes we make in life ultimately give us the power we need to move forward in life. And like the brother was saying, redirecting the youth. If you have an opportunity to advise them not to make the same mistakes that we have, that is a golden opportunity. And then also, if you have a chance to encounter some youth that have made mistakes, encouraging them to use that mistake as fuel to move forward in life. But I definitely believe we have to start with our households. Strong households become a community, that community being established and continued on is where we will get up from where we are. Um, Whether it's the wealth of life lessons or the material wealth, if we can rear our children in a manner to where they can maintain what we have gathered, then that wealth is established. But if our children lose what we are able to gather, then it was almost pointless. So it is definitely important that we pour into the youth. But before we can pour into the youth, we have to be poured into ourselves.
And if I can just kind of add to what you're saying, Ish, um, I think as women, what we can do, like I said earlier, is our part. Take the steps to be pleasing unto the Most High, be what our Ish is our husbands need, not just what gives them pleasure, but what they need in order to help them submit unto the Most High.
Yes.
That's why the woman was created. That's why she was brought out of Adam's rib. Adam had received his commandment from the Most High. He received his instruction and marching orders. Do this, tend my garden. You know how the story goes. And and the Most High looked and saw and said, no, you need to help me. It's not good that you're doing this alone. I'm going to create for you someone specifically for you to help you get this done, that the works may be continued on the earth. You know, and so as women, I think our first thing, how does, as the brother was saying, what's that chain of command? It's Yah, then Yahusha, then the man, then the women, then the youth. What can we do? Start to teach our youth to respect the elders and listen to the elders. Start to teach the youth and train them up in the ways that they're supposed to go, just like the brother was saying. It's not only for the girls to learn how to iron them clothes. No, if you got a pair of pants and you need to go to the interview, you need to know how to iron them pants while you a bachelor. Because if you ain't got no wife to do it, what you gonna do? Just go without iron pants? What you gonna do? Go buy McDonald's every day? No, you gotta learn how to cook too. You gotta learn how to wash clothes. You have to learn how to keep a clean house until it is someone that you betroth as your wife. You know, you have to learn how to do these things as well. So we as women, it's our job to train up these children in the way that they're supposed to go. Part of that, training them up in the way that they're supposed to go, have respect for their elders, have respect for their fathers, the men, the teachers, whomever it is that their authority, and just have that respect and that reverence that they're supposed to. Give ear to correction, but that means as women, we have to be operating in that as well. We have to be giving ear to correction. We have to have the respect for our issues, our husbands, our, elders, and so on and so forth. We can't pour out what's not poured in. But I believe that's where we can start as women. How can we begin to be those helpmeets that the men need so that they can take their rightful place at the chain of command as far as walking on the earth, and I also wanted to bring up something just because we kind of know, all right, we need to be a community. We need to be a community. Well, community has things in common, right? A community communicates, right? A community has all of these things going on. And until we learn that, we won't be a community. I can't stand, and I would love it if we would lose collectively this phrase going into 2023. I would love it if we could collectively lose this phrase saying that, oh, we are not a monolith. We're not a monolith. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but you hear these new, like the youth, and I'll even say people my age, the millennial age and stuff like that. Oh, we're not a monolith. We're not a monolith. That doesn't mean, and I would love it if people would understand, it doesn't mean I understand what they want it to mean. It doesn't mean what people want it to mean. What exactly is a monolith, A monolith is a huge structure, a solid structure that serves as a pillar. It serves as a foundation. It serves as a platform, like it serves as sturdiness. In some aspects, we have to really drain our brains of this thought that we're not a monolith, because it would absolutely be it would behoove us and be in our best interest to have a monolithic mindset in certain aspects, as far as, especially if we're trying to instill in ourselves as a community, a sense of community, and so I think we really need to lose that collectively, that thought process that we're not a monolith. I think we need to really revamp. And I think you said it, Sister Karen, that we have to renew our minds. We have to rethink. We have to train our brains, to start doing these, or our value system has to change, and yeah, I think that's a major point right there. Like our collective value system absolutely has to change, because until our value system changes, what we prioritize, we're not going to see no, real change.
True.
I want to chime in, if that's why it's kind of fresh on my spirit. Sister, you hit the nail on the head. If I can give you a high five, I can just, yes. But we're talking about change. Again, as the panel said, we've saying some profound facts that, I pray, and I know that it won't go on deaf ears, because it's much needed. This conversation is much needed. But sometimes I feel as if we have to be the change we want to see. Even as if the older generation of men, they have failed our men. we could take a perspective to where the brothers may, I've heard brothers say, well, I didn't have this as a young man. I didn't learn this. Still, you can step up. The Most High have given you that power. He gave you just a huge toolbox. And in that toolbox, those are tools. He didn't say set the toolbox in the corner and just use it when it's necessary. Okay? But it's to a point where I think we have to be very realistic, even as for the brothers. There needs to be healing that takes place. There needs to be very much so. There's nothing wrong with getting therapy, my brother. There's nothing wrong with tapping into that inner child that you may be 35, but your thought process and what you're going through, you're that 14-year-old boy that did not get healed. Something is triggering that. Even on this journey, we tend to come out of the world, but we're bringing in worldly baggage.
Yeah, I mean, my husband said something that also is key, and it is, he said, you look in the mirror and you say, hey, beautiful. You have to love yourself. It starts with you, because if you are not, if you don't love yourself, then you can't show someone else love. It has to start with you. It has to start with, the inside of you. Show yourself love and love yourself. That way you can love. You can, people will see that love in you, and you can spread it to others. Yes, brother Willie.
Greetings, everyone. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting us on. Thank you, Sister Kalea, for your input. It was very profound. And I wanted to talk about what is happening in the youth, as well as all of manhood, or maleness, I should say. Um, we know that no matter what area of life you come from, people have some sort of brokenness, right? But the problem is, all of society, especially our people, are taught to continue in that brokenness. And my opinion, or my thought is, if you already know that something is broken within you and you keep professing and confessing it, it's time for you to stop doing that and decide to be that change. Because if you just keep perpetuating that, then not only are you still affecting yourself, you're affecting your future generations. You have to be the one to decide, okay, well, because I can recognize that and I know what happened, I know I was abused, I know I didn't have a dad there, I know my mom was on drugs, and this is therefore why I am the way that I am. That's when you can say, okay, I know that I need some help restructuring who I am. Because if I don't restructure who I am today, it's going to not turn out better for me or my future generations tomorrow. So you have to decide to stop saying, okay, this is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. Okay, you can recognize that. But if you have it in your head to recognize and you know it, then it's time to change. There are youth out here shooting it up, robbing people and doing all that. And they're not going to say to you, oh, I'm doing this because of whatever. They're not necessarily going to say that because they don't know why. But as a grown up, as a grown man, somebody in, the male position, you're a man. If you know these things and why you're doing these things and why you are at a deficit, then it's definitely time to change. And it's okay to live unbroken. When you live unbroken, you change your surroundings. And we think that, oh, it's not so easy if somebody lives in the hood and all. We come up with all this stuff. But in the age of the internet that we're in today, it is okay to live unbroken. You can find mentors, speakers, YouTube videos, ministries that will help you uplift yourself up out of that. And what does the word say? Knock and the door will be open. Ask and it will be given unto you. But you have to first ask, you have to seek and find. And Yah can lead you out of those dark places, wherever you started. So it's time to live unbroken lives. Stop perpetuating that sad song that goes back generations Decide to correct it so that you can be better for the next generations. Maybe not even for your son, but for somebody else's son.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, ma'am.
Sister Shonda? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You see, I'm sorry if I keep saying yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, but you know, it's something that has been instilled in me since I was a youth. So even as a grown man now with my own youth, them and my own grandchildren, them we still use yes, ma'am, and you know, sir. You see, because them thing right there, and because I'm in respect, we make it in America, you know. Me I tell you, you know, because me I know full into education and all them things there. I mean, we got street knowledge. Don't get me wrong, we got street knowledge because that's what we grew up on. But actually, the guidance of the Most High and the respect and discipline that we carry from what he, you know, he's been guiding that man. That's why we make it so long. Me never been in a trouble in 20 years since me there. And you know, say it's a blessing for him because when we come from, we always there in something, you know. So what I'm saying is not your environment, but is how you choose to live in that environment. You know what I say? Because as a youth coming out from the ghetto to come to America to get the opportunity and see how America is. And America is a place where everybody come together. It's supposed to be a place where everybody could come together. But every time you turn around is this one I fight this one, that one I fight this one. And you see the problem we have as they call us, Black people. The thing we have about ourselves and we have to stop doing. The man them have to stop disrespecting the woman them. Not call the woman them no bees, not call them no H, because them a queen and princesses, them a lioness. That's how them be. So you see, if you lift up the woman them spirits, and you lift up the woman them and encourage the woman going to encourage you. Because you have to build her up. That's your building. You as your empress are your building. So you have to build your building if you want your building to be strong. You have to build it solid from the foundation. And that's your foundation. So if you run things in your yard, that means you could go out a road and run things. And that's how lion run things. Lion go out and hunt and lion go out and, but then wherever them them still could protect them pride when time come. You over? So that's how we have to live our life because the animals was here before we was. Who you think we learn and who you think we learn our liberty from? We learn them from the animals because that's what was they about before we there. So the dog mentality, that's the first thing, dog, and then you call the woman a bee. So we call her a dog too. You dig with me I say? Like me say, if you want to correct a dog, you put a shot collar on him. If I'm not accurate, you take him to the pond, and where the pond is, the penitentiary. They put you behind a cage, because you're a dog. You see? But you see, when you're a lion, they have to come hunt you. You over as me I say, dog easy to catch, lion not easy to catch. So we have to stand firm as lion, as black lion. Make your mane grow, and let people know, say, you're strong, solid. You're solid for yours. You see? Because when the youth them see you solid, them gonna want to be like you because if you watch it, the youth them learn from the elders. So if the elders solid, the youth them gonna be solid. Because if I call you ma'am, me you gonna want to say, yes ma'am, because that's what the youth them see you do. So everything we do, them a mock what we do. Because everything that we do, we learn from a generation before. You see? So we have to be the one to correct ourselves, but we have to correct ourselves spiritually first. Because before you could correct something physically, you have to be spiritually ready. Because the battle we fight is not a physical battle, it's a spiritual battle. So if you're not spiritually armored, you can't fight the war. And if you check where I'm going in this year time, everything they make now, have to make us weak. Nothing them now make now, have to make us strong. Everything they make now, have to make we weak. Even the substance that we put in our body, they make us weak. Because they want we to stay away from natural. You over? But think about the generation that live 109 years old and all them things before. Them not been have all the things we have. Take the medication then. Every medication you have a side effect. The side effect worse than what the medication is far. You always must say every time you turn around, every time. So as a people, when we say people, we mean everybody as a people until we stand firm and say we not take this here no more. We not take the system for going to tell us to teach we what we do and how we do. Because Babylon have a born at the end. So if we stand firm as a people and as a race and as a culture and as a structure, because remember, if your foundation strong, your building will be strong. So that's how we have to stand from. We have to stand from foundation. So we are the generation now to teach the man to come behind we, how to build them foundation strong. You see? So when we teach them how to build them foundation strong, then building will be strong for years. Because if we lead them, look on it. If you ask any youth them now, what is the meaning of a word? No youth never go pick up no dictionary. No youth now pick up no dictionary. The youth them grab them phone. So the youth them now use your mental mind no more. You see, because now something I think for you, so your mental is gone. That's why you don't know how to learn a trade. That's why you know how to wash some clothes, because you now use your mental. Everything now is technology. So technology don't take over your mental. So you're being led. And what them call them? Sheep. But I might not know sheep. I want a lion and me stand firm for my pride. So here we go on. Once you step to me, you have to step strong, because me are no weakling. I'm me gone.
Ah, yeah, man. Preach and teach. A true that. True, a true. Come
All the
on, let me speak.
colloquialism.
True. You know, my husband was saying the same exact thing this morning. Truth all the way around. Um, feel free to chime in.
I was looking on the news this the other morning. It was a male here, so-called black man. He was an ex-football player. He was here. He was helping out the community. Buying turkeys, buying gifts for the kids, and all these things. And he was out a mentor for people. And he had a big following, and he helped a lot of people. And he died on Saturday, and everybody was all sad. And I thought about that. I was like, here's this man. He didn't know Yah, didn't confess Yah. He did all these wonderful things. He helped people out and did all these things. But his legacy was not lasting. It just died with him. Our men need to get back to Yah. It's good to be a good provider. It's good to do all these things. It's good to be a good mentor to the youth. But if you don't have Yah, you're just doing it for nothing, because when you die, it dies with you. Scripture says that a man that doesn't profit his own household is worse than an infidel. And a lot of our men are infidels. They give them food and clothing, a car, a nice house, give them children, give them a warm bed, a warm hug. But at the end of the day, we need to get back to just good old fashioned Bible and telling people the word. Because that's what's going to change our community. Now, I don't care how much business you have, how many jobs you got, how many skills you have. If you don't have Yah, you're doing it for nothing. And I saw that guy. People were mourning over this guy. I mean, Demetrius Johnson. They were mourning over him. And I was like, man, this guy, he didn't confess. Yeah, he lived his reputation. And I think we need to really get back to just plain old telling our men about the Bible. I know there's many sisters who have unbelieving husbands, and that's a bad situation to be in, but it's also a good situation, because by your meekness, you can lead that man to Yah. And that's where I think wives are more important women than we think, because a lot of our men are following Yah. And you got a wife that's following Yah, it might be a little mad at first, they might get a little attitude with you. But I've heard plenty recent examples, but if you are seeking Yah and you just humbly present the word in meekness, and, our man will change. Yah's word will either harden you or soften you. And if you continue to hit with the word, they're going to change. I've seen it, and not in my life, but I was following Yah at a young age. I haven't really been rebellious in that way, but I was rebelling in other ways. My wife has helped me in lots of ways. You know, um, I was doing things, just mindset was kind of off. I didn't have the right mindset. Well, or flip side, I knew Bible, I can tell you Bible all day, quote you all kind of Bible, but on the other aspect, far as I had a wrong mindset on far as money and how to get money. I was just thinking about the word. My whole life was just preaching the word. That's all I did. I didn't care about money. I didn't care about if I was hungry. I just want to preach the word. When I got married, like, we got to think about something else sometimes. I was like, you know what? You're right. I had to take a step back and realize, I can't just preach all the time. I got
Mhm.
to do the natural side. And a
Mhm.
lot of brothers, they have the natural side, but they don't have the Bible side. So I think we need to come together as brothers. Okay, I have the Bible. You know how to do this trade. Let's come together. Let's help each other out. And I think that's we can get ahead if we actually realize that no, a lot of brothers aren't following Yah. They're not lost hope. Some of us are in our own work following Yah, but we lack a sense of natural things. So we didn't have fathers who was around. I had a father who was an entrepreneur. He fixed things, had his different business. He did things. He didn't quite know Yah all the way. He knew of God. But there's some things I had to learn for spiritual side of my own. But if I had them both, you know, imagine where I would be. So I think that we need to kind of come together with the sisters who have husbands who aren't believing, maybe try to help them out. And the ones who are believing, but you see a brother like me back in the day, I'm preaching and I ain't got a dime in my pocket. I'm just out there preaching. I don't care about nothing. I didn't have a sense of realize, man, I need to try to prepare for my family later on. I can't be preaching forever. I need to prepare for my family, and I needed a worldly brother to tell me that maybe and we can help each other out. I think we need to kind of think about that and realize that it starts with Yah, yes, but we have to realize that there are some natural things too. And if we actually look at each brother as a brother, a future brother, we wouldn't be so quick to dismiss people because they don't know the right Bible verse, or dismiss this brother because he doesn't have a business, so he's useless to me. He's a worker bee. I think if we come together the right way, we'll see the brotherhood really grow.
Mhm.
Praise Yah.
Mhm. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
My
Yes.
husband
Let me
said,
see
I'm
some
with that.
questions
I'm
in
with
the
that. I'm
chat.
with that.
So let's see. So big up Ja, Nzola, Sister Papa, KC, for Shofar Ya, my daughter Denise Melanin, Papa Yisrael. Let's see who else, and let's see. So yes, um, that was your dad speaking earlier. Believe it or not. And like Brother Willie said, you may you must, as a woman, a wife, if you are awakened and your husband is not in the truth, continue to live your life as a living sacrifice. Continue to keep your eyes on the Most High and walk in His truth, and uh, let Him do that conversion. Let Him do all the changing on the inside. For me, when I stop doing this, when I stop, doing one of these numbers, you know, um, that's when my husband would have never have come on here. But this right here, it's a miracle. It is today a miracle. It is a miracle, and when I see things like that, I know it's not impossible for us. It's not impossible for us everywhere where we are. I don't care where you are. I don't care what nationality you were told you are. We must love one another. It has to start. It starts with us, and then it starts by we can set the tone. We are the trendsetters. If we can set the trend and the tone for everything else, let's set it for love. Let's set it for, oh, you're tearing your brother down. Oh, man, that's not right. Look at the bright side of this. Look at the positive. This is, you don't know how the Most High is using this sister. You don't know how the Most High is using this brother. Let us pray about it. Let us go to that brother and say, hey, ask the question, why? You know, let's Let's, start a dialogue, start a conversation, understand your brother, understand your sister, rather than tearing it down. And that is that. You know, um, we can do it. The Most High has awakened his people. He said one can make 1,000 flee. Look at the amount of us that are awakened. Look at that. You know, and it took, especially now with, what just recently happened. I'm just gonna say their names with Kyrie and with what's his other what's his name, Kanye, and then what's his name from Wildin' Out, him. You know, it's a shame that we wait for these celebrities to come out with this. And it's like, oh, we are. Oh, wow, well, let me look into this. It's a shame that we wait for that, but is it? Is it a shame? Or is it okay? Well, you know what? Let me not say that it's a shame that we wait for that. Let me praise the Most High because He can use anybody. If He can use a donkey, He can use anybody. As long as that seed gets planted, you can come out and plant the seed and be like, oh, never mind. No, it's already in the dirt. You're going to go look for it? You plant all them seeds. You just out there. You're going to go try and dig up every single one? No, He already started watering it. It's too late. You planted it. Let me start watering it now. We set the trend. We are the trendsetters. We can set it for love. We can set it for breaking down the barriers. We can set it for, oh, I don't talk to Jamaicans. I don't talk to Haitians. I don't talk to Africans. If you look like this, if you got some of this on you, if you wearing these clothes, these natural clothes right here, you we should be here. I don't care where you are. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care if you're living in a tree, or if you still, if your weapons is bows and arrows. If you're looking like this, we should be able to close our eyes and fall back and say, you know what? I know my brother's not gonna let me fall. You know, hey, you can't close your eyes and fall back. Let me teach you. This is a teachable moment. Let us recognize teachable moments in one another and say, hey, you know what? Let's build my brother. Let's build my sister. You know, we have the power to unite. We have the power to bring one another together in love, because love is key. You have to have that. And without that, we're not going anywhere. This is a conversation that needs to continue. We can talk about, okay, now we're divided and this is happening. But now what can we do to fix it? Okay, we've recognized the situation. We see what it is now. Now, and we're very smart, because when they took our people from the shores of Africa, they were very, they took doctors, lawyers, scientists, they took all kinds, just take anybody. We are the sons and daughters of those people. Very talented. And so, right? All those mantles have been passed down to us. What are we going to do with it? With all of the talents that the Most High has given us, what are we going to do with it? With everything that the Most High has unlocked in us during COVID while we were sitting in the house, what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with it? We can do it. It starts with our brothers. It started with Adam, and then there was Eve, and then there were the children, and we are the children of those children. The man was first. We have to recognize there is no, oh, I don't need a man, and women's liberation, and it's what is the matter? What is the matter, my sister? Let's This is a teachable moment. I thought that same thing. But here, let me tell you something. Let me tell you about my journey and do it in love. You know, don't just say, you can't, there's no, don't, women can't be talking like that. You're looking crazy. No, in love, my sister, I thought that same thing. Let me tell you a little bit about my journey. The Most High has given us experiences in our life so that we can take those spirits, those experiences, those teachable moments, and teach the youth, teach somebody else. Like Sister Cece was saying, we are now the elders because they done knocked off as many as they could. And so now we are those elders, or we are responsible. We are the ones that now have the power to say to our youth, this is this and this is that. This is how you do it. Let me show you how you make this. Let me show you how you make a basket. Let me show you how you start with a dog house. Let me show you how to build a dog house. Let me show you how to build a doll house. Let me show you how to sew a skirt. Let me show you how to let me show you how to do all these things. The Most High during COVID unlocked so many talents in all of us. It's like, oh wow, there's so many black businesses that are coming out of the woodwork. It's we had time to sit indoors and say, well, you know what? Ran out of lotion. The stores don't have it. Oh, Father, what am I going to do? And he's like, cook it. Let me unlock that because you already have it in you. And he's like, you know what? Let me do some research because I really need it. I'm ashy. You know how we get. We need that lotion. I'm starting to turn two different colors now, white and black, brown. I need something to cover some of that up. I need to see my shine come back. What am I going to do? What do? We worked it out. You can put us anywhere, just like dandelions, my husband was saying. Dandelions. They are the only flower that can grow anywhere. They coming up through the. You try to cover them up with concrete. They coming up through the crack like boop. We are those dandelions. The roots of the dandelions is so strong, and it is a powerful medicinal plant. By the way, it's a beast of healing. You know, we are them dandelions that you can step on us. You crush a dandelion, you step on it, and you know, it boom. 2-3 weeks later, now there's two more dandelions. It was like, didn't I just weed that up? You spraying it with everything. Let me spray this. You making my lawn look bad. Now 5 more than popped up over there. You can't stop us. You can't stop us. We cannot be stopped. I don't care how many celebrities come out and be like, "We're the people." No, we're not. The Most High just made you. He can make you tell on yourself. You cannot, nobody can stop us but us. Why are we stopping? Let us pick up our brother. Let us pick up our sister. Let us pick up our youth. Let us show them, no, you see your youth down, you see them begging on the corner. I'll go get a job. Don't just say that. Okay, what happened? How did we get here? Let me tell you about my journey. Let me tell you how you can come up out of this. Let me help you out here. This is what we need to do. This is how it's done. And that is that. Anyone have any thoughts, anything that you would like to share that I've gone on my tangent?
I wanted to say that, you said, how did you get here? This is my journey. And you're talking about the people like, perhaps the ones that we may see out there with a sign, one over here with a sign, then there's another one category to him. They got a sign alliance, because they're collecting whatever they need to collect, whatever people are going to give them. And you want to pull one aside and you want to tell them your journey. But I think first, what we have to do, whether it be with a homeless person or the one sitting next to us, is we have to overcome fear, because fear in whatever form or fashion that it comes packaged in is what stops us and hold us back from actually executing the perfect will of Yahuwah. So we have to be willing to overcome fear. And if you're willing, you will overcome that fear and you will have the ability to make a breakthrough with people who are what may seem in a very desolate situation, or your spouse, but you have to ask Yah to help you to overcome that fear in communicating with your fellow brother or sister. I think that that's a really big deal, because we tend to base a new relationship on what it is that we have dealt with in previous relationships, of the past. And we bring that into a new situation and think, well, I see some of these characteristics, so this is that exact same situation. So you immediately retreat into fear. And when you retreat into fear, it exudes and expels and reeks even of bad behavior because of that fear. So I think that we need to be more diligent in praying that the Most High Yah will help us overcome fear, because we know He has not given us the spirit of fear. So that was given to you if you're in fear. So you need to give it back and rebuke it and ask Yah to help you move forward so that you can do what needs to be done.
Praise God.
I want to add to that. Got a couple of things here. Fear. I feel as if we, as a nation of people, have to be readily available to be a fool for Christ. We have to be. And Sis Carrie, what you just said, a teachable moment. If I may share just a brief testimony, because I believe in, don't be ashamed of your past. Don't be ashamed of what the Most High actually had you to encounter and endure. Us as women, as wives, just like you all were saying, we are now the elders. So we have to step into that Titus 2 role. Not just saying, oh, I'm Titus 2. What does that look like, sister? What does that look like? Stop saying things because, it sounds so good, but let's really get into that mode and really, really show what Titus 2 women look like. Now, back in 2015, maybe 2015, I think, this was a time where I wasn't so certain of who I was. I was that rebellious wife. My husband was trying to teach. I was so drunken off that Christian spirit. I was not, again, rebellious. And I can remember it was the tension was so thick in our home. We became just argumentative, okay? And I will always say that again, that worldly Black woman mentality. I don't need you. I don't need a man. My sisters, please be careful with your words. If we're going to uplift our brothers, it starts with our words. It starts with our word. And I just kept saying that we have to take control of our emotions. That's the curse of Eve on us, okay? We are emotional. We have to break that. So I just run around the house and say, I don't need you. I don't need you. As lo and behold, the Father used my words and took my husband out the home into the jailhouse for 3 months, what felt like 3 years to me. And my husband told me when he got to jail, he saw a lion on the wall, and he said he knew why he was there. While he was locked up, he was able to send me scriptures, letters, speak on scriptures. Hey, you're an Israelite, you have to wake up. I said that to say this. We have to know our role as women, but it have to start with that inner. We have to heal as women, because yes, I may have been a wife, but what kind of wife was I? Was I a wicked wife? Or was I one that upheld wisdom and obedience and knew my role? I was not that at that time. So again, when we're trying to plant that seed and be a light, Yes, sometimes we have to let people in, let our youth in, let a sister in and say, "Hey, sister, this is what I dealt with. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
Let me take you up under my wing and show you how to be a wife, a keeper of your home."
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's very powerful, sis, because life and death are in the
Yes.
power of the tongue. And if
Yes.
you speak something enough, it's going to happen. And so, where you have, even if you're not married, oh, I don't need a man. Well, now you got our brothers is dying because you just, you know, now they're being picked off because enough of us have said it, but we need them. We do need our men. We need our men. And those are the things that we need to speak into existence and undo what we spoke into existence. You know, you say something long enough, it is going to happen. Why? We are the sons and daughters of the Creator. We are the sons and daughters of the Most High. If He can speak this world into existence, don't you think we can speak things into existence? We pray. When we pray with the intentions of speaking things into existence, you know? And so that's why we have to be careful, even with our tongue. Fear, you could speak that into existence. I sure hope that doesn't happen. Well, you instead of saying, I know the Most High has got me, don't hope nothing doesn't happen. Know that it's not going to happen. Know it for sure. And so yes, I agree with that. I agree, wholeheartedly, Sister Cece, Sister Revka, our brothers. Let us start speaking life to one another. When we see our brother and our sister doing something, uh, you know, that is uplifting, and even if they're doing it wrong, well, you know what? If you see a better way, let me show you a better way. You could, if you put some salt on that, it's gonna taste good. I mean, cook it a little longer, it's gonna come out real good. You know, let us share. Let us share our knowledge with one another. Let us iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. And the sharpest iron is this. You know, you can cut somebody with it. Did you know that you, even in the heat of an argument, may say things that's like, "Oh, oh, I'm so sorry," and then you go your way. Well, what about the words that's floating out there looking for their target now? Did you put them all out there? Did you cast them all down? Because you said you were sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me. Oh, yeah, you're forgiven. But the words is still out there. You need to snatch those words back from out of where you put them. Cast them down. Cancel them. Ask the Most High to cancel them and forgive you. We speak blessings out there. I want those blessings to hit the target, but I don't want anything that I've said out of anger and them words floating around out there looking for the bullets just floating around. Okay, who am I going to hit? Just free willy. Next thing you know, now you got blood on your hands and you wonder why, oh man, I had this. It was so close, and I didn't get that. I thought that I was going to get it. I didn't get it. Why did that just happen? Well, did you, Father, you praying, forgive me for my sins, but did you pray and you ask the Most High, if there's anything that I need to repent of, show me. Let me be, show me myself. If what is it that has caused me to not get this blessing that was right here that I didn't get? What did I do? Is there something that I said that I did that I should have reversed? Did I send out a curse that I should have cast down, that I should have canceled? So even with the iron that the Most High has put in our mouth, we are his, we have his DNA. We have his DNA. Every baby that is born, why you think you don't have to? Babies were born back in the days of old. They didn't go get checkups at the hospital and blood drawn and things like that. No, they're drawing it because we have the DNA of the Most High. Oh, we gotta, let me take this. We gotta draw his blood just to make sure he all right. No, he all right. We gotta do this and we gotta do that to him. So we just have to be mindful, mindful of what we are speaking out of our mouth because we have so much power. In this time, in this day and time that we're living in, we're seeing miracles. We are praying, people are getting healed. The Most High has given us the tools that we need to heal one another. Herbs and teas and herbal combinations and lotions and all kinds of stuff that he has unlocked in us. Now we're being healed. Okay, we're being healed physically. Let's heal one another mentally. Let's heal each other's hearts. Let's do it. We can do it. Any last thoughts before we close out? All right. And so we are going to ask our brother to close us out in prayer. I'm brother Mishiak. Mishiak. Please help me out because I'm just jacking it up. I know I am.
Is it Mashaya? Is it Mashaya?
Yes, it is.
Messiah.
All praises. Dear Heavenly Father, creator of all, ruler of all things, we thank you for this opportunity to come together and meditate on higher things, to converse on what it would take to please you, and what it would take to lift our people up from where we have let each other down to. We thank you for these opportunities. I pray that it's not the last time that we come together, not just to talk, but to actually take action, to become what our communities need, combining what you have given us, knowing that none of us has it all, but if we come together, we can actually make the change that's necessary for our people, your people, to be established once more, no longer bringing shame to your name, no longer broken, but reaching out and receiving the healing that you have made available mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, communal healing from the elders to the youth, full cycle, never ending. We ask that we become pleasing unto you, acceptable unto you, so that you no longer turn away from us when you approach us. Please make known to us the tools that you have designed us to be so that our efforts can be concentrated, focused, and effective. For the teachers to recognize who they are to teach, the builders to build, so on and so forth. We pray that your will be done in the earth, recognizing that no one or anything in the heavens is confused about you being in control. And we ask that we will no more be confused about you being in control. Please heal us so that we don't have evil in our hearts toward one another. And if there is anything in us remaining, which I'm certain there are things in each one of us that need to be corrected, please give us a mindset to acknowledge that and accept it so that the work can be done, so that the proper actions can be taken for the right reasons, not for vainglory, not for the esteem of self, but for the community, so that we're no longer serving anything but you, knowing that we can't love you without first loving one another. This and all things we pray in Yahushua's name, saying thank you, Abba.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Um, Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Those who joined us in the live chat, all praises to the Most High. This is a conversation that definitely needs to continue. Next week, we're going to be talking about our young adults, ages 16 to 25, young adults who are in the truth. How do you deal with social life? How do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? It's going to be an interesting topic. It is one that we definitely need to talk about. There are a lot of youths out there who are awakening the truth, and it's like, where do we go to have fun? They're young, you know. Um, uh, what can we do? I mean, I live all the way over here in this state. I don't have anybody in my neighborhood that is awakened to the truth. I'm lonely. That's the devil's playground. Well, we're not anymore. Not anymore. We see you. Sawubona. We see you. So we are going to talk about that one as well. We're also going to continue the talks about building up our brothers, because that is a subject that we definitely need to talk about. And starting with these, we need to also talk about these young adults. So young adults, we will have, prayerfully, we'll have more than one that comes out that will join our panel. Sister Victoria, is one of our young adults who was elated when I invited her on to the panel to talk about this, because it is something that is not talked about. Do we hear it? Nope. But we're gonna. Now, panel, let's come back again. Next week, Tuesday, we will be talking about our youth, our young adults, and the truth, um, dealing with social life, dealing with social lives. How are we going to deal with it? What do we do? What do you do to have fun? Let's talk about it. We'll see you then.
Shalom.